Welcome guys, Brandon here from Terminated Gaming, and once again we're back on World of Warships with another replay of mine, of course. This one also, again, fairly different for me. I don't play a lot of Tier 10. I'm much like a lot of other people, like Tier 9 gameplay a lot better. Less likely to get CVs. And you got a lot of good Tier 9 ships. So, it's a very fun tier. Of course, this is a Tier 10 that I'm in. It is the one, the only, the Grosser Kurfürst, the very thick ship herself. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but it's going around a lot since patch 10.0 that secondary builds are dead, and I would like to agree with that a lot. This game is a fairly good example. I am, besides potentially that Richelieu on the enemy team, the only secondary build battleship in this match. Of course, this is right after 10.0, so there's still a decent amount of cruisers and destroyers, and of course there's a CV in this game as well. So, but Grosser Kurfürst gameplay is kind of dead. I had the misfortune of getting the Grosser Kurfürst right as the patch was dropping, so I never got to play this ship to its full potential before patch. And if I thought about it, I will remember it. I will throw up a image of my captain build. I have Gunther Lutyens on this, 20-point Gunther Lutyens for my secondary build. I, of course, am not running IFHE, which would be an interesting one for some of you that run full secondary builds. I do not run IFHE. I actually run Pyrotechnician, which might also sound dumb to a lot of you. But my reasoning behind that is most of the time you're going to be firing AP out of your battleships. Most of the time. If not almost always. And like I said, that's almost always. There are situations that you will not. So having that AP is your inconsistent section. Whereas if your secondaries are your consistent section, why not have your secondary set in fires, which is one of the most consistent ticking damage types that you can have. Don't mind this camo. I really just enjoy the futuristic look of the GK in this camo. Kind of so much so that I think I got the Parisian camo for the Republique because I thought that looked cool too. I just like this sleeker looking camo. So at the start of this game, I really felt that at points in this game where I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Like, this match is already not going to go in the way that I'd like it to go. It just didn't feel like I was going to have fun. We already got lit on fire, but, you know, that's the German way. You're going to get lit on fire. So I pop a heal, let the fire burn itself out, and, you know, we're not going to be in very bad shape after that. The heal's going to bring us back up to a decent amount of health. Otherwise, you just look at it as an adrenaline rush boost. Actually, I don't even think I'm running Adrenaline Rush. Yeah, I'm not running Adrenaline Rush on the build. So, never mind. We accidentally avoid the torpedoes there from the, I believe that, yeah, it's the Sashio. So the only things that he can damage are me and the other battleships and then the CV. So, of course, we're going to see torps from him. That's to be expected. So, I'm playing the GK in a very odd way here. I don't know what was going through my mind. I think this was a day that I was having some poor games, and I was like, well, I'll take out the GK, maybe have some fun. I loved the FDG, which is a rare one to like. I liked it actually more than the Bismarck in a way. But I'm sitting here in this gap. I was tempted to go towards B, but we ended up capping B. And of course, I'm picking a fight with a Conqueror. I'm not gonna win that fight. The Conqueror is just gonna HE me to death. So I'm trying to get into a position where I'm not spotted and not letting that Conqueror shoot at me again, because man, I really just don't want to be lit on fire again. I don't even. Yeah, I'm running the actually the fire chance reduction, so minus 10% to the fire chance, and also the one less fire that you can have on your ship. These two cruisers, which were also accompanying me towards B that was spawned on this side, have turned around, and one cut me off there, and I was kind of a little irritated, I'll be honest. It's kind of irritating when that happens. There is another ship shooting HE at me from the right side there, so I'm trying to get myself into a position where I might not take as much from HE. The HE spam is what's going to really kill GK fast. And now I'm going to pop another heal. I really wish I hadn't burnt that fire, the repair earlier. Or the damage con, sorry. And it's Yoshina out there that's messing us up with HE. Of course, there's another HE spamming ship in front of us, the Albemarle. But we've actually, fortunately, went unspotted here, which is rare in GK, because you're spotted from orbit. Tell the secondaries to focus on that Asashio. I should have probably actually worried about him with the main guns, but I send the front guns towards the Albemarle and the rear guns towards the Asashio, so... we're being lit up by Hydro from something, which is, I believe, is that Riga, which I've had other games on this map where I've done similar to what I did in the GK here, and I had a Petro that did the same thing. He lit me up with radar, and then I sat there while his radar was going, and then I tried to move up, and then he lit me with Hydro, and I was like, well, this is dumb. Just, you know, constantly being lit. I'm still trying to shoot this Albemarle, because he's the only thing that can really shoot back at me. So... it's not going super well. The accuracy of the GK's main guns is not one of its strong suits. I've seen people actually running this thing with Deadeye, and apparently it makes the GK's guns more accurate, but I believe it's actually the Sigma that makes it the most inaccurate. And you can't fix Sigma. Sigma is just your base value, and that's what you're stuck with. This Asashio is launching torps here. Yeah, against this Richelieu that's pushing up. This Richelieu is going to come in to try to be at brawl range against me in a GK, which is very rare in the current meta, and I really like that. But going back to that, we hit six overpens and 1 pen on the Albemarle, and I'm just sitting here, I'm like, ah, oh, come on, you know. I'm running the 420s on the GK. I like the bigger gun than the 406s. I'm still curious why I haven't popped my heal at this point. I don't think I've noticed that I have that. Another problem I have with the GK is it's a absurdly large ship, so it's not maneuverable at all. It can get up to a decent top speed. That's not bad, but it takes about 4 to 5 business days to get there. So GK is not going to be your most maneuverable ship, and that's why I play a lot of American BBs. You see a lot of American, the French BBs, anything that can get some speed behind it. I think, yeah, okay, I thought I was maybe going to try to shoot at the Dasashi with the main guns here. We get a lucky fire on him that ticks just immediately, and I should have held my fire a little bit longer on this Richelieu. And another problem I have with the Germans is they're really bad turret angles. I mean, they were atrocious turret angles. Those front turrets can't even think about shooting that Richelieu when he came around that corner at the angle I was at. And this is where I'm talking about with the speed up of the GK. It's slow. GK is a slow ship to get up to speed. That Richelieu burns to death. It was short-lived for him because the anchorage has torps, so that's his trump card. And I'm going to try to get this GK to hard turn, and I'm going to do something that a lot of people would not expect somebody to do in a GK. That's just YOLO through this gap at this point. I was getting real frustrated. We're tied technically on ships, and as I say that, we lost another friendly. But we've really our team's spread out. I'm the only surface ship besides 2 DDs over here, and both those DDs are in real low health. They are going to be of use, though, which is really nice. They're keeping most of these battleships spotted in the cruisers and stuff. So I got to get myself off this rock first before I can actually do anything. I pop my Hydro just to kind of see where everything's at. The Riga's around the corner, and then I see that the Benson's out. And the Benson's the only one with torpedoes near me besides that Yoshino. So with that Benson out there, I was like, well, time to charge forward. The Benson can't torp me if I'm on the other side of the island from him. And the Riga decides now he's going to Hydro me. Or counter Hydro. It's a smart move. So they know I'm in the gap. They can't think for a second that I'm not here. But it maybe catches them a little off guard that I've decided just to plow through this gap. I mean, I would not expect a GK to come out broadside at, no kilometers. I decided to pop my heel here as I'm going around this corner to hopefully not die immediately. And the Conqueror, if he was smart, would have loaded AP, like switched to AP right here, and he might have ended my game a little bit more rough than what I am at. So I come out, and the Yoshino is pleasantly the one that I stumble across first. So the secondaries open up on him, and hey, that's a pretty decent hit from a GK. 8 shells hit for like a 20 and a 16. So he'll feel that one in the morning. Of course, I'm still running my Hydro, so if he launches Torps, I'll know about it eventually. Have the secondaries focus at him. I angle away from everything else. Just let the Yoshino really shoot at me. And we're going to fire again. Of course, I'm going to eat a decent amount of damage. It's a GK. If not eating damage is a problem. And we do 17k. Look at the GK gets so much nicer at close range. So there's one cruiser down. We're up to 111,000 damage. We've tanked just shy of 1 million. Our Sashio's over here launching Torps as well. So I'm going to help out our Sashio however I can by hopefully shooting at that Riga. But the Riga is ran himself aground on the Conqueror. So I hit 2 ships with 1 salvo. I would rather hit more on the Riga than the Conqueror. But I'm trying to finish off the Riga, but the Conqueror's in the way. Which, I guess, is smart on the Conqueror, so, but I don't think the Conqueror is actively trying to do anything. And with running into the Riga, he's actually going to eat I think just 1 Asashio Torp here. But 1 Torp's better than no. And I get most of the rest of the guns off here, and trying to get that Riga, I get the Riga. So, now I just get around this corner, and I'm going to be safe for a solid second. And I say just a solid second. The team is still tied, but we are very low on health. Granted, the enemy team has a Lightning on the other flank against our Thunderer, which is a problem. Our Moskva has withdrawn from where he was in position because he's really low on health. Our Sashio is really low on health, but he can only do things against that Conqueror. Once that Conqueror is dead, doesn't have anything else he can use Torps against. And the Albemarle is the biggest threat to me at the moment, because the enemy Lightning has been last spotted over on the corner. The Midway is all the way back corner, so I'm one of the furthest targets away from him. I believe I am the furthest. And the Benson was last spotted going north towards RCV. The Albemarle gets a fire on us. I decide to put that fire out as I need to try to live as long as possible without any heals left. Thankfully, I get hit by the HE from the Conqueror and the Albemarle. Then, the Richthofen's actually going after the Conqueror here, which is really nice, because that will do a significant amount of damage to him. I get the front turrets off on the Conqueror, and then secondaries are hitting him. 11k actually there. Rear turrets out, and I'm getting shot by the Benson in B. And as soon as I get hit here by the Midway, and that is what kills me. So we end this game with 185,000 damage and 3 kills. And at this point, our team is still in a position where we could win this. The Asashio could kill that Conqueror with torpedoes at any time. But really, with everything so low health on our team, like the Moskva, the Asashio, the destroyers get almost free reign, these enemy DDs, because our CV is not really equipped to take out those DDs. With the Benson right in front of the Thunderer, this decision to turn like this was dumb in my opinion, but he's probably going to get away with it for a solid second longer. The Moskva needs to stay unspotted in order to stay alive in this situation, but he's of course also going to have some problems with that. The Benson gets spotted here, but our Thunderer was not thinking about shooting at the thing that was spotted in front of us. The Moskva does get the Lightning, so my hopes of winning this game go up, but we control no cap right now. The Thunderer's first salvo misses the Benson wildly. He leaves the Benson on 400 health. I was like, oh, secondaries, please, something hit him. And then the Asashio is dumping torps towards that Conqueror. And there's the Benson again. The Thunder is not going to be reloaded in time for that. Besides the fact I think the Thunder had already switched targets by that point, so this Asashio's got way too close to this Albemarle, so he's going to die right here. Unfortunately, he had no health left. The Benson opened up on him, but I'm hoping that this, the Asashio gets the Conqueror, so now it's just the Thunder and the Moskva alive with our CV against this Benson on very low health and this Albemarle. And the Thunder gets heavily torqued by the Benson, almost as if he didn't expect the Benson to torp him, which was very different, very different, or definitely not in his favor. He should have been paying more attention to that. I tell the Sashu that I'm giving him a comp for that. He might not have did much, like he said, like he didn't think he deserved it, but you know what? In my eyes, he fucking did well. It was a very good try from his part. I mean, he got screwed in the beginning, and he tried really hard at the end. Our Thunder is unfortunately going to go down to a fire from the Albemarle. So the Benson on low health, the enemy Midway is still on most of his health, if not all of it, and the Albemarle is on half health, but of course he's British. Of course, I messaged the Sashio saying that I thought he made up for it there at the end, no matter what he did at the beginning. And now we're just going to see the unfortunate ending of this battle, which is the fact that we do indeed lose. Nothing more that the team could have did there. I guess if I could have played a little bit smarter, could have maybe won, like a little bit more passive. I mean, I played very passive at the beginning, most of my damage coming there on that push, but maybe if I would have did that push while I still had teammates, would have had a different effect. The Richthofen made an interesting decision here to go for the Albemarle. I would have figured he would have tried to go after and look for the Benson. But, like I said, he's very inequipped for that. But 1 AP rocket salvo would have killed the Benson. He would. I think it would have just even been like a couple overpens and killed the Benson. I don't know how much damage these rockets do off the top of my head. But there's serious considerations. They thought that the CVs are going to ram here. It would have been very entertaining to see both CVs ram. And you just see the secondaries of both CVs wildly shooting. Could you imagine in real life CVs getting close enough to use their secondaries against each other? Wouldn't that have been hilarious? It's kind of like that story of the USDD that stumbled upon a Japanese sub that was surfaced, and they couldn't find anything to shoot at the sub because they were too close, so they decided to oh, what was it? They had potatoes on deck, so they threw potatoes at the Japanese sub crew, and the Japanese sub crew, thinking they were grenades, threw them right back. It's like, did no one think to look at these potatoes? Because there's no way a potato looks like a grenade. I guess in the heat of the moment, maybe it feels like a grenade, but it's a potato. It's like, how do you... I don't know. It was an interesting story, and it's kind of like when these two CVs passed, it's just like, maybe you guys should have threw potatoes at each other. It might have been more effective. The Richthofen's landing some decent hits against this Midway with his planes, but of course the secondaries of the Richthofen are going to be... the Richthofen are going to be way better than the secondaries of the Midway. And this Richthofen, spoiler, comes top of the team. Like, he did the most for this team. So we can't even blame the CV for the loss here. Our CV was hands down the best player on our team this game. He did the most for the team, tried to help us as much as possible while doing the most damage to ships. And he has 2 kills to show for it too, so. And he almost gets the CV. But the Midway, of course, has more torps, and the Richthofen was unfortunately turning in front of him, so he does get the CV right before his death. Anyways, our results from that game, not super impressive. 185,000 damage off 51 hits, 144 secondary hits with 3 fires, 4 citadels, which were really nice and welcomed, and 3 enemy destroyed. We came second on the team. Like I said, that CV really did carry our team as much as he could. and he has a well-deserved top spot for that. We follow up right behind him, and then the Thunderer on our team, who died in the weirdest situation that I thought he could have avoided, but maybe he couldn't. You know, never know. And then our Asashio that I comped, he ended up actually finishing 4th, so it was a well-received compliment to him because I felt like he deserved it. Detailed report, most of our damage obviously came against that Yoshino that was broadside to us, and we just absolutely wrecked out of the water. We get a decent amount of damage against the Albemarle and the Conqueror. Our kills came against the Riga, the Asashio, and the Yoshino. GK is not a premium ship, but I'll show this screen anyways. 311,000 credits profit on a loss, and I don't think I'm really running any flags on it besides that camo, plus service flag gives you like minus 65% cost of restoration of the ship, which is really nice. And like nothing notable here besides Gunther Lucians is the captain. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. So rating would be much appreciated, and I'll catch you guys most definitely on the next one. Peace out.
Shut up and sit down.